Hi guys, welcome back. Today I have another layout for you with one of the Scraptastic kits, and I believe this is the June 2014 Scraptastic kit. I cannot remember the name of this one, but I believe it's June, and I am making an 8.5 by 11 layout today. And what I'm doing first, and first I showed you all the kind of pieces that I'm kind of pulling from, and now what I'm doing is adding the gesso to the background because I am going to do some mixed media on top of this, and it's just a white gesso, and then I'm going to dry that with my heat gun. And once it's dried, I'm going to start using gelatos for the background. And they're going to be a combination of pink gelatos because I like the colors. There's a lot of pink colors in the background or in the kit of this kit. And so I'm going to pick 3 different colors of gelato, a dark, a light, and a medium pink. And I'm just going to kind of scribble them on the background in a couple different places. And then I'm going to smoosh them around the page with a baby wipe to kind of move them around the page. I didn't want to put a whole lot of water on this, and I wanted to use and play with the baby wipes, and I thought that was a good way to get all the colors kind of blended. And so I started at the lighter color and then moved my way to the kind of a darker color and then the medium color. And I thought that it wasn't enough of this lighter color here, so I'm adding some more to the bottom. And again, just using kind of my finger and the baby wipe to kind of move the gelato around the page. And this is going to be the base of my mixed media layout. And like I said, I'm just kind of adding here and there just to get it kind of all over and making sure it's going to fit my page. And I was thinking about using this blue, but I did not like how it looked, so I just did a little bit of patch behind the picture to see if I would like it, and it just didn't turn out right. So I decided not to do any more with the blue. So I'm just going to heat that a little bit just to dry it up, and then I'm going to do some stamping, and I'm going to use this roller stamp that you're going to see in a second. I think these are maybe made by American Crafts, and this one is hearts, and I'm using this darker pink Stampin' Up ink kind of all over, and I'm just trying to figure out where my picture is going to lay. And I'm going to put this kind of just all over the background, just again, just to have a base. A lot of this is going to get covered up with my layers, but I wanted to have a nice base. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with a darker color, which is going to be black, I believe. So I'm going to heat set this first just so the colors don't mix. And then I'm going to bring in my black ink. Yeah, it's my Mento Tuxedo Black. And this is a roller stamp that has triangles on it. And it was from, oh goodness, the brand is escaping me right now. It's on the tip of my tongue and I just cannot think of what it's called. Glitz Design, that's it. So it's a Glitz Design roller stamp. And then on top of all that, I'm going to add a Tim Holtz stencil, and it's this lacy doily stencil, and the name of it's Doily. And I'm going to be using my modeling paste here, and my modeling paste was getting pretty down, so it was kind of hard to get out, and it was pretty thick. But I'm just adding a very, very, very light texture to the background here, and there's my daughter. You can see her hand in the video. So I'm just going to add this all over to the background just to kind of soften up some of the stamping that I did, and just to add a little extra dimension and texture to the background. And now everything is dried, and I'm going to start putting on my paper layers. And actually this kit, I didn't have a whole lot of paper left, but there was quite a bit of embellishments left. So I did have quite a bit to choose from. And I just trimmed down that picture to probably about 3.5 by 5, just a little bit smaller. There was just a little bit too much going on in the background. Unfortunately, the picture's a little bit blurry, so it's not quite as good quality as I'd like it to be, but we just had our phone when we were there, so I just took my phone in, and I don't know if the lens was kind of cloudy or what, but it's a little blurry or smudgy. So here I'm just taking the different colors that I like and adding it to the background. And I really like the color of this kit. It had a really good saturated color, and I really like the different little cards that it came with. And here are some of those cards, and I'm just taking that black background and anchoring my photo and my cluster with that black background. And later on, you're going to actually see me cutting that little viewfinder, photo viewfinder card, and just cutting out the little viewfinder on it. And I'll do that in just a little bit. So here I'm just still playing with my layers, trying to figure out kind of what I want to do, where I want things to go. And the pretty much dominant color of this layout is this black and the pink. But there are a few pops of maybe like teal and things like that. I love that viewfinder paper, the little viewfinder slide discs thing that you see to the left-hand side. That's kind of like a tan and white with a heart in the middle. That was probably my favorite paper in this collection. So I'm just gluing on the little tidbits here and there to get what I want. I'm using my ATG gun for this layout mostly to get everything down. And a little bit later you're going to see that I'm going to get my hot glue gun out. When you add all that texture to the background, a lot of times you can't get those dry adhesives to stick very well. So I ended up using my hot glue gun to really get it to stick to that textured background, and it's staying really nicely. And I'm not worried about the glue gun not being acid free. My picture is preserved with all the other paper layers in between, so I'm just not concerned. I probably wouldn't use the hot glue on my picture directly. I know some people will, but that does make me a little too nervous. So I just tend to do that on the paper like this, just to glue it down to these textured backgrounds and such. So now I'm going to look through the sticker sheets and things like that and different paper and just trying to figure out. I feel like it just needs a little bit more, and I'm going to end up deciding here. Oh, I'm sorry that my lamp is kind of in the bottom left hand corner. Hopefully that's not too distracting. So I am going to add this little triangle of pink, and like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of paper left, so I was trying to kind of use up all the rest of the scraps that I had on this layout. And that's one of the reasons why I'm using an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper instead of a larger size. It seems like that's a really good size when you have a lot of the scraps left and you don't have a full background sheet. And I could have taken just a whole piece of 12 by 12 white cardstock and done it that way, but I kind of like doing these 8.5 by 11 sheets. I haven't done that before for a really long time, and I just recently started doing these, and I'm actually really enjoying this size. Especially with the one photo, sometimes I feel like I have a lot of extra white space and I have problems with that. So here you can see I'm struggling with my layers. I'm playing and changing it up and taking layers off and putting layers on, and finally I'm going to settle with the amount of layers that I have here, and I'm just trimming this page down. I'm going to end up mounting this on black cardstock to bring your eye into the page a bit. And on the left hand side you can see there, that's my hot glue. So I'm going to start looking through some other paper scraps, or not, sorry, I'm not my paper scraps, but this little card. I'm going to trim out the little viewfinder, and I love viewfinders. It reminds me of when I was a little kid. I used to have this, and my mom had one when she was a little kid, and I used to look through hers, and she had like the Cowboys and Indian, like Lone Ranger, black and white viewfinder slide, so it was really cool. So I remember that a lot from my childhood, and then I had some Scooby-Doo ones and different stuff, so she had one of those really old metal viewfinders. So it was pretty cool. So anyway, I'm just going through and I'm using the stickers, and like I've said in other videos, I don't like to commit. So I'm taking my powder tool and just adding a little bit of powder to the back of these stickers just so I can move them around a little bit on my page before I come to a final decision on where I want them. And now I'm just gluing that down with some hot glue. And I don't like that thank you or the word on it, so I want to get rid of that, but I like the colors of the tag. So I'm going to layer the thing I cut out, the little viewfinder, on top of that tag. And then I'm going to add this little slide frame just to bring in a little bit more blue, because like I said, this is mostly pink and black, but I did want to add a little bit of blue to the layout as well. And I believe I'm going to get that on the page somewhere. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I may put it back on the sticker sheet. Nope, I get in there. I thought I got it back there. So it's going to be tucked in back there behind the layers and the other little cluster stickers and cut out. And then I'm going to add some more over here to the right hand side, just some more of those stickers. I had, like you saw, probably quite a bit left. So I'm going to try to figure out some other things I'm going to use. So I'm going to use this little, it's kind of like a wood grain heart, and this other kind of starburst kind of sticker. And again, I'm going to use my powder tool so I can move them around, and pretty much where I show you here is where they stay. I'm not exactly sure why I needed to powder the back of it, but oh well, it's okay. I'm just going to pop that up. It says life is beautiful, and the heart says adventure. And then I decided to pop that viewfinder up as well, just to give it a little extra dimension. And now I'm just going to finish everything off by just tucking in a few things here and there. I use that ampersand, and I'm going to end up cutting this little phrase. It says how sweet it is, and cutting it up and putting it on the right hand side just so it fits a little bit better. I didn't like how it was looking in other places, so I'm just going to stick it there. And then I'm going to pop up just the ends of it, just again to give it some more dimension. So I have 3 areas of the dimension on my layout in this cluster: the words, the viewfinder, and the life is beautiful. And then I added another little sticker there, and I'm going to then add a little cluster up here in the top left. I felt like it was kind of lacking up there. It just needs something, so I'm rubbing this Scotch ATG gun adhesive off of the paper so I can use some of this paper to anchor this love sticker that I'm putting up here. So I wanted to bring some of the paper that was in the cluster of the photo up to the left-hand corner. I'm just going to kind of cut up a couple things and just kind of play. Like I said, just trimming it up, making it work up there. And then again, the texture on the background, it just wasn't sticking, so I used my hot glue gun to get that stuck down. And I needed to add a few final touches to this, and it's pretty much going to be it. I do add some enamel dots here, right here in the right now, and I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you have any comments, leave them below. I love hearing from you guys, and hope you have a great day. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.